send shivers down your spine. Shrieking skulls will shock your soul, seal your doom tonight.
Where should we play? The park? Asked Ben. Ben was my cousin, and my sister Olivia was also with us. She loved playing with dolls, especially her new collection of Dream Mermaid dolls. Of course, this wasn't suitable for all of us, so we all had to meet each other halfway. So we decided to go to the park. There was a park in walking distance, which had some play equipment and whatnot, as well as a soccer field, of course, as well as playing on regular equipment, swings, slides, rock climbing, etc. We also played tag nearby. It was actually quite fun, and I could tell from Olivia's smile and Ben's giggling that we were all sharing the happy feeling. Not far from where we were playing, there was a small area with some small dirt trails for hikers and joggers to walk or run along the thick trees and foliage, which you could describe as any mini forest on either side of them. Of course, Ben and Olivia and I had no intention of going in, seeing as there was nothing to play in there, as well as the numerous reports of sightings of foxes. We all decided to play soccer on a field that was adjacent to the playground, with all the equipment. We spent about 2 hours having fun playing soccer and many games that were 2-on-1. I'm happy to say that we all got our fair share of wins and losses, and we all had fun. But it took one of Ben's double whopper kicks to send the ball hurtling through the air and through the trees of the forest. Unfortunately, due to the forest's hilly geography, the ball rolled down and disappeared into the trees. Of course, this meant that I had to go and fetch the ball, but despite my feelings, I bravely ventured in, and Ben and Olivia trailed along for the fun. But there was something about these woods that unsettled me. It was just the fact that the forest was dead silent, despite being near some fairly popular sporting facilities. The contrast between the quiet forest and the playground and the soccer field was uncanny. Not before long, the sight of the jogging trails disappeared through the forest, and I began to get a little uncomfortable. Maybe it was just the way the trees were twisting odd, distorted patterns. Olivia began hugging my leg with fear, and Ben's face got the unmistakable look of uncomfortable, and I also huddled up close to me for a little effort. Ben and Olivia had already began walking away. I immediately followed along to make sure that they stayed out of trouble, but it was not until about 3 minutes later that I realized that they had been walking the wrong way. Approaching the ditch and retrieving the ball had made me lose my sense of direction. I began pointing them in the right direction, but Olivia said in her small voice, "Josh, I think I see someone." I could tell from her voice that she was scared, and I just sighed lovingly. I told her that people came here often to hear to hike, but Olivia said that he had a white face, a red nose, like a clown. Then Ben randomly screamed at the ear-piercing volume, and I was beginning to get worried. Naturally, I decided that we should leave immediately. As we began to walk out, a man dressed in a clown mask with striking red hair emerged from behind a tree. He had a cheap-looking black jacket on, accompanied by some tacky pants, accompanied by pale gloves. At this moment, we were paralyzed with fear, but when I snapped out of it, I snapped a photo of him for evidence, which was shown above. We did not even tell each other to run. Our legs just made the move for us. We all sprinted like we were in the Olympics. I felt hopeless that we were in such a secluded area. After a couple of minutes, the bounding of feet behind us had stopped, and we turned around and we were greeted by relieving absence of clown. Olivia was crying at this point. Ben had just had this worried look on his face. After I calmed them both down, I took him and we slowly sneaked through the trees, and all the trees of us would keep us an eye out. And so we did. But about halfway back, we heard a maniacal laughter behind us, and the clown was chasing us again. We resumed our frantic dash, and when we finally reached the clearing, the clown had once again retreated back into the thick foliage. I told my dad the whole story and showed him the photo. We called the police, but by the time they got there, they said that they found no trace of the clown, except for one of the gloves that we seen on him. But soon after, it made a terrifying discovery. Apparently, the clown abducted, killed children that wandered into the woods alone. He would then sneak out and steal some kids from the playground itself, before retrieving to the forest and killing them. The police had assumed that this form of the bones and corpses that they discovered, all the police had to say was that we were lucky not to become part of the clown's collection of children.